G'day everyone. Just sort of do a quick video as I had a question recently about distortion with wide angle lenses. So I just thought I would talk a bit about that, just show you what it looks like and also how to correct it in Lightroom. So if you have a look at this image I shot here out at Red Hill on the weekend, this is just a straight off the bat raw file, so this is pretty much how it comes out of the camera. This was shot with a 16 to 35mm lens on full frame at 16mm, so it's fairly wide, which is about equivalent to 10 or 11mm on a crop sensor. So you can see down at the bottom of the frame here with the shed, the poles on the side, and also this tractor or trailer or whatever it is on the side here, the angles are really distorted, and also the shipping container, and all the upright vertical lines are all angled in because of the distortion with the lens, and that's because the lens was angled up to show more of the sky. If the camera was actually level on both the horizontal and vertical plane, then there would be no distortion in the image because everything is level. But the reality of that is you wouldn't see as much sky, but you'd see a lot more foreground. So what we do is we angle the camera up to get more of the sky, but that turns into this distortion from the characteristic of the wide angle lens. So I'll just show you. So this is the raw file, and this is an edited file that I've done. So we'll just do a side-by-side comparison. So you can see there the angles in the raw file, and then how it's turned out once the file has been corrected and edited. I'll just go back and we'll pull that one up. So you can see the vertical lines are a lot straighter, and the trailer on the side is a lot more vertical and looks a lot more realistic. So we're just gonna run through quickly how we do that. I'll just do it quickly on this raw file. So we just go D for develop in Lightroom, and then if you scroll down on the editing bar on the right hand side, you've got all these different blocks. There's one down further called transform. So there's a transform editing block, and it's got all these sliders that pull up a grid, so you can see them. And there's also these auto options as well. So if I just go full transform, Lightroom actually does a pretty good job of this usually. So we'll just see what that does. So if you just go full transform, and you can see that it's done a pretty good job of that, of aligning everything. It's a little bit out, I think, but you could get around that by maybe just rotating a bit to line up those verticals with the grid lines. Another thing is to have this constrained crop on, so you don't get white areas on the outside of the image from the crop that are outside of the pixel area. So if you have that on it, Lightroom automatically crops your image. So yeah, that's one way you can do it. You can also do it manually. So to turn that back off, you just go to off. Quite often when you do this, the crop doesn't revert back to what it was originally, but if you go back up here, up to the top, and go into the crop tool, you can see there's still parts of the image that it hasn't restored. So you just restore that crop, and then you're back to the original full photo, so to speak. So if we come back down to the transform now, so the first one here is the vertical slider. So if I just pull that to the left, you can see how it starts to align those vertical components of the photo. So that's not what I'm looking at here. Is the white post in the center of the picture, so I'm just trying to line that up. Then because I've got this constrained crop on, it it automatically crops it in, and that's not too bad. So that's all I've really had to do. There's still a bit of rotation on there, so I'm looking at the poles on the right hand side now, so you can line those up and then just play with your vertical slider again just to get everything looking vertical. You've also got to make sure that if you've got a horizon in your photo, you've got to make sure that's straight as well. So if you've got that straight, you shouldn't have to do anything with the rotate slider. So that's sort of how you do it manually. And yeah, just make sure that I'll just reset all these. I'll just show you that what you get. See, again, I've got to reset the crop because Lightroom doesn't reset that for some reason. Just go back down here now, and I've got the constrained crop off, so you can see how it sort of, you do lose a bit of the image. So that's the downside of it, because it's got no pixels to work with. So we'll just do it this way so you can see what you actually get. So that, for example, that's pretty close. And then if we crop in again, you can just crop in until you get rid of that white border, something like that. So that's pretty much what we ended up with the full automatic process. I'll just reset that again. And I'm going to come down and just, I think if you just click on them, it resets them. Yeah, so if you click on the double click on the transformer, it resets all the sliders. So again, if I have that on and do a bit of a vertical adjustment, I'll just do a rough one. Do a rough one there for now. So if I go up to the crop, you can see there that it's it's gone to the edges of the if you try and move that, you can't, because that constrained crop's on, so you've got to actually readjust the crop to sort of move that around. It's sort of locked to those edges with that constrained crop on. I think that's about it. So yeah, that's a good little overview of the transform tools in Lightroom to get rid of distortion in your photos. Hope you enjoyed that. Catch you next time. Cheers.